everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a mentee. Everybody needs mentorship. Because there is always something to learn from each other. No one knows everything. And just because of the experience of someone, just because of a nudge from someone, that could actually be the key for you to reach your full potential. I'm Jenny Yang. I am the current president of EO Philippines, and I have been with EO for 9 years. I am the CFO of our group of companies. We are in manufacturing, so we have a plastics manufacturing group and a food manufacturing group. GSEA stands for the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards Program. It's a premier global competition of student entrepreneurs, so meaning to say students who have started and are operating their businesses while enrolled in university or college. So somewhere in 2006, EO Global took over the program. And of course, after taking over the program, they infused a more sustainable model, grew it, and expanded it. So yearly, EO Globally, we receive more than 1,000 applications from all over the world, from more than 40 countries. And the winners from the different chapters will compete on a global competition platform. And the aim of this is to really create awareness and encourage the students to go on an entrepreneurial journey, because the students are the next generation. In 2018, when I was the GSEA chair for the local chapter, we launched what we call the Student Entrepreneurs Incubator Program, so SEI for short. That program, we paired the student entrepreneurs who applied for that year with an EO Philippine tenured member to mentor them. A year-long mentorship program, not to mentor them to win the GSEA competition, that's not the point, but to mentor them in growing their business or in anything that they want to be mentored on, including personnel. So SEI is actually a very unique product only to EO Philippines. We feel that the student entrepreneurs don't really have access to good mentors, especially mentors who are entrepreneurs. So this program was meant to give them basically that, a mentorship program that they could use for a year. Hopefully, at the end of that program, they will have been transformed. They will grow as a person. That's the simple objective and hope of that program. 2018, where I was GSEA chair, we actually had several finalists. The three that I remember the most because they continued on and kept in touch were Popoy, Bea, and Kyla.
Way back 2018, I'm a solo parent, and then from the start, it's been my parents financially supporting my son. And nagmamature na yung isip ko na maybe I have to do something as a mom. It's really my son who is the reason of why I established business. Hindi naman ako yung magastos na I will spend all of that money. I always have this excess. I use that excess allowance of 1,132 to start a business. I started with 25 pieces of lip tint, selling around only my friends and also my relatives. Yung challenges na na-encounter ko, yung una, paano ko pa siya i-grow? Saan ko pa siya pwede i-market? I saw an opportunity joining at EO, GSEA. Nakita ko na they help small entrepreneurs to grow their business. So I joined there. They have this student entrepreneur incubator program. It's a 6-month program. By connecting with the mentor and me as the mentee. My mentor before was Merrick Suwa and also Miss Jenny Yang.
Wait lang.
Hello!
Hello, sir.
Kamusta? Surprise, surprise!
Hindi pa nakarating kayo dito.
When I first met Kyla, she was, I believe, in her first year or second year in college. And she already had something like a business that she already started. She already had the fundamentals of being a potentially a very good entrepreneur. And she just needed a little bit of guidance na lang in certain areas in her business and in her personal life.
What I learned on Sir Merrick Suwa is he told me to don't stop even if I experience hard times.
I think in anything in life, the most successful people, they have talent, but without hard work, without grit, without going through trials and tribulations, one cannot be successful, and it's been proven. So it's really important to never ever give up. And that's also one of the things that why one of my first few mentors also gave the same piece of advice to me when I was Kyla's age and also just starting out.
Kyla is very special because up to this day, we are still mentoring her. She reaches out once in a while. She wasn't a winner of GSEA, but GSEA and the SEI serve as an inspiration for her. And she has seen grew her business, and her product was top 7 online for that category.
Miss Jenny Yang taught me how to be resilient in business. And she always said, just be yourself. Because people will know that you're genuine and you're authentic. She always keep on reminding me na kung sino ako, yung be true lang sa lahat ng mga tao na makakasalimuha mo.
I think for a lot of young entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs and mga fresh grads, I think first thing that they have to do is really understand yourself, understand your alternatives, and understand realities. Entrepreneurship is not made, people are not born with it. I don't think so. It's developed. Entrepreneurship is a journey. It's not a destination. So people think that once they achieve something, they're gonna be happy na. It's not like that. You have to find joy in the journey that you're gonna take as an entrepreneur. Yes, you celebrate your wins, but you also don't forget that you have to enjoy the journey because there will be a lot of trials along the way. It's all part of it. You have to be happy and fulfilled regardless of the outcome.
For me, being able to create a social enterprise, we will be able to inspire our PWDs and other communities to join us in breaking up the stigma while also helping the planet. The idea started way back 2011 when I was electrocuted with 12,000 volts, and that rendered me to become a person with disability. That was the time that I experienced the societal divide of getting ridiculed, getting excluded. And fast forward on 2017, I met a PWD community in New Corelia where I realized that I was not the only one who experienced this kind of stigma. So we co-created a social enterprise that empowers and promotes inclusiveness. And that's where the idea and the social enterprise Green Rubber Footwear was born. I am in need of mentorship that time, no, because I don't have any business acumen on those days kasi, so I was clueless on what to do. So I am in need of mentorship. And then I saw in a Facebook post that GSEA, a program of entrepreneurs organization, is calling for application, and I tried to join, and luckily I was chosen. I never thought that I will be chosen as one of the GSEA's participants because, well, first is I thought that they're only going to choose those applicants who's living in Metro Manila, but then they gave me a chance even though I was in Mindanao. The highlight of the program is the mentoring between you and your coach. The coach will help you to grow, not just in business but also in life. So I was very lucky that my coach is Coach Kerwin.
We were very used to people applying from the Luzon area, especially the Metro Manila schools. And Popeye was one of those first who applied coming from Mindanao. When I saw him, I got intrigued already, but since I traveled to Davao almost every month, I said, I want this guy. So I flew in to Davao and then took a 2-hour car ride to see him, to meet him, and just to be able to check his operations. And during the time I met him, I saw a very passionate individual who has been where his community is currently the PWD community. He has really suffered so much trauma, and he wanted to be able to share this particular overcoming situation with the community that he is now helping. And I saw that heart and interest of Popoy in trying to uplift that particular community that he is helping. That's why I got interested with mentoring Popoy. For me as a mentor, I guess there are three things. First is, what is the purpose by which he is doing this? He has to always be very clear about his intentions of really doing this, no? Because once there is clarity, that will keep you going. The second is that, it's even if it's a social enterprise, you continue to make sure that you are sustainable. I always remind him that for you to be able to achieve your goals of being able to grow the business and help more and more people in that community, you need to be sustainable. And sustainable would mean that you have to be able to manage your business well. And the third is really going to understand how you're going to be able to affect or influence or encourage the people that you are serving. So they're not just going to be the people who are journeying with you in your entrepreneur process, but these are people who are also assigned to you that you can steward and basically lead towards becoming the better versions of themselves, as God has created them to be.
I consider Coach not just a transactional mentor, but he is a life mentor for me. Before I make my decision, I always reflect those lessons that I have learned to Coach Kerwin. I am inspired by what he's doing.
The beauty and I think the success of the mentoring program is always when the mentee recognizes that need. And in EO, we have been very, very conscious about making sure that the mentee is the one who is looking for going after the mentor. I feel that you really have to start from a humble base. That you want to be able to learn and keep learning so that you'd be able to apply these learnings in your own life and enterprise. And that's where Popoy stood out.
Ananda, or as it was called Prima Facie back then, is a social enterprise co-founded by then high school students, myself included, as a solution to the pressing problem of flooding and the clogging of waterways caused by water hyacinths in our country. Student Entrepreneur Incubator Program inspired me, and as a member of Prima Facie back then, to apply was first of all, the learnings we hope to gain through the mentorship, given that it's a months-long mentorship. My mentor back then, Sir Jonathan Teff, and so we are grateful to be able to take part in this program.
When we hear of mentorship, we think about giving, right? But the whole experience with Bea and the rest of her team, it felt like I was learning at the same time. And so that experience was like a real awakening. That the idea that you need not learn from people who are more senior or more experienced than you are. Because Bea's team and Bea in particular gave so much fresh perspectives. And so my word was very surprising. It was very pleasant. And I think both of us learned from each other during that time. In general, when I mentor or when I coach people, I think what I really want to teach them is that there are no limits. Whether you're a student or whether you're a senior or whatever life stage you're at, there are no limits to where you can take your business. And so that's the first thing I ask them. Where do you see this going? And if I felt like it was not enough, I believe it's my job to push them further. And so the second thing that I remember teaching them is reality. Sometimes, because GSEA is a global student entrepreneurship, which means that they're students. So the idea that, guys, you're in a bubble. And these things don't happen in the real world. I want to believe that I treated her as an entrepreneur and not as a student.
And so for the GSEA finals, it was a nerve-wracking experience, and surprisingly and gratefully, our team won in the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards Philippines 2019 competition. It was a very humbling experience for me because while being a Philippine representative and as well as knowing how far we've gone running a small high school business back then, and now we're given the chance to take our business to the global stage.
Philippines gets hit by 20 typhoons a year.
And coming in the GSEA finals in Macau, I was strengthened by the support of EO Philippines. Ma'am Jenny Koyang was there, Sir Richard Chu was there. I took this opportunity, of course, to learn from the people who participated in the global finals of the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards program.
It's very interesting, the feeling, because we don't get anything out of it. I wouldn't say it's because of the mentoring, but it's because we shared the journey. And so when they won, a part of me was just ecstatic. And the goal that I set out for Bea was to widen her horizon and see the world. Most of the time, a lot of our students, and unfortunately a lot of Filipinos, we are very comfortable. We are creatures of comfort, and we tend to stick to our bubble. But competing on a global stage just opens up what the opportunities and the possibilities for yourself. So very, very mixed feelings. You enabled someone to go beyond what they thought they could achieve. And that's priceless. You cannot replicate that with anything, any experience that you go through, because it's literally impacting someone else's life. There is no business school, there is no subject that you will learn that will compare to the experience that you will hear from someone who's been there, or someone who's going there for that matter. And so I feel like any entrepreneur, any successful entrepreneur would understand and know the value of mentoring and coaching.
Mentorship is a two-way street. It's not just the mentee learning from the mentor. A lot of times, it's also the mentor learning something from the journey of the mentee.
You know, in recent years, EO Philippines has been inviting more and more entrepreneurs to be part of it, because one of our mantra inside the organization is to share the gift of EO. EO really changes people. It makes people become a better entrepreneur, a better business leader, and a better person, and a member of the community.
Our theme this year is Inspire It Forward. A part of inspiring it forward is to pay it forward and to give back. We are very fortunate to be in a place where we're at. Fortunate not materially, but fortunate enough to have an opportunity to own a business and to run a business. There is no value to what we do if we cannot inspire others to do the same. And so I think it's just appropriate to continue having a mentorship program, because it's crucial. It's crucial to any entrepreneurship journey.
I'd like to be able to encourage them with two of the greatest EO values. We have 5. One is to boldly go. To boldly go forward and achieve their dreams. The second is always have that thirst for learning. At the end of the day, you only stop growing when you stop learning.
My hope for them is to dream big and to understand that the only limit to what they can achieve is themselves. The Filipino can. That's where I come from when I say the only limit they have are the limits that they set upon themselves. I go back to what I've always believed in, and I will repeat. The talent of the Filipino, we can compete against anyone out there.
There is a quote that says, "The greatest use of a life is to use it on something that will outlast it," because all of us one day will go that route. So I'm hoping that we as a chapter this year will really live up to our theme, which is inspiring it forward. We will go and inspire people in our community, whoever is in our small corner of our world, and to create that ripple effect. So I hope we will go and inspire and be inspired in return.